Hello everyone, my name is Robin. This is a very tough video for me to make, but a huge part of me needs to talk more personally about Rooster Teeth's impending shutdown, because Rooster Teeth has been a huge part of me personally. I made 2 news videos on this topic already. You can go watch those if you are not familiar. Basically, what it boils down to is Warner Bros. Discovery has shut down Rooster Teeth in its entirety. Its employees are being laid off and will cease to work at Rooster Teeth on May 10th. That will be the last day. At this time, they're putting bows on all of their shows and projects. That means Red vs. Blue, Ruby Volume 9 Beyond, and Camp Camp will air as they intended to, but then that's it. So if you want to know more, please do check out my other 2 videos on the topic, preferably actually my second video. If you want to read all of it on your own, all of the sources that I used in those videos, as well as this video, are linked in the description below for things that I'll be discussing here now as well. But for the rest of this video, I'm going to do something that I have not done, and I'm going to talk without reading from a script. Starting now. I have absolutely no idea how long this video is going to be. I have a bullet list of topics that I want to get to, because I need some amount of organization, so even without a script, there's got to be something. But I'll just start by saying thank you. If you work or worked or at any point in time at Rooster Teeth, and you happen to be watching this, thank you. I've gotten the chance to meet a few of you at RTX and become acquaintances or even friends as well. Some of you even recognized me at RTX as a specific member of the community and shared how you appreciate me specifically as a community member and not just another face in the crowd of people who happen to be attending, right? And I was incredibly blindsided by that. It made me reevaluate my role in the community to actually have been recognized, and it opened my eyes as well for what I could achieve. And I'll always be grateful for that. I loved the videos and projects that the people at Rooster Teeth and people in the greater community made so much that it actually pushed me to be a content creator myself. I've always been a fan, especially with video production, content creation. I've always been a fan of how this sausage gets made. And that led me to launch my own YouTube channel. And then over the course of time, discover that I actually rather prefer being behind the camera than in front of it. And since that point, launch an actual career as a video editor. So because of Rooster Teeth, my way forward in life, both personally and professionally, has forever changed. And so I wish everyone at Rooster Teeth all the best in their future endeavors. Wherever they go, they don't deserve anything less, you know? Many of them will likely stick with content creation, and if that's you, I hope that the community that you've helped to build will be a safety net for you, if not an actual full-on springboard for you into whatever new field that is. Because after having met so many of you at RTX, I can see that passion and that creative spirit, and I know that it will carry you to even greater successes than even what you had at Rooster Teeth. Even though, for a lot of people, what happened at Rooster Teeth was like lightning in a bottle for them, right? A lot of the sentiment that I've seen from the Not Our Goodbye stream, as well as just people talking online, is it really did feel like lightning in a bottle for the employees who were there and what they were able to do as part of their job, right? And so, talking to the staff that I did at RTX, it really made me respect all of the work that they do, all the work that they've put into their job. A lot of people like to talk about the negatives that have nothing to do with the vast majority of the people who did the good creative work. And I don't necessarily mean to downplay people like Kaden Jensen or Ariana Filippini or Torian Crawford or anybody else, but that is part of the full picture. Right? We can give it its due and give it, the attention, but also respecting the fuller picture that not even those things can fully give. Each of the people who I've met or known of from Rooster Teeth really have shaped me into who I am, right? And I'm known for Ruby or RT animation, but I've also enjoyed both the classic and the new RT podcast, actually. I haven't gotten as into the newer iteration of the RT podcast, but as I would like to. But, I've been there for both, and I like both. Achievement Hunter as well, podcasts like Face Jam, stuff like that. I've been around Let's Playing, all that jazz. So it's not, I don't want to, even though, this channel is definitely Ruby-centric, I don't want to say that, that's it for me, It's just, that's just what I choose to talk about here. And as I said, I've become a content creator because of Rooster Teeth and its community. And it's thanks to all of these people that I've tried so many different styles and formats. I was kind of curious because to me, that's been the story of my channel. It's learning how to be a better editor through editing so many different types of things. And that's, I actually went back and looked at what all of those were. And that was news videos, reactions, theories, discussions, video essays, Let's Plays, music edits, shitposts, a vlog, and even an AMV back in the day after Volume 7 aired. So that is 10 whole different styles of content. And then even within all of those different things, I was constantly iterating on what would work best, right? My reaction videos to Volume 7 are very different from my reaction videos to Volume 9. Please do not go back and watch any of those, though. Just save me from whatever I was doing back then. And I don't mean to say that I'm done. There definitely is going to be a low period for this channel, but I'll talk a little bit more about what that looks like later. But long story short, I'm going to keep making news videos as the news arises, if and when Ruby's future becomes clear in the fallout of Rooster Teeth's shutdown. And it will, right? I don't think they can possibly get through May 10th and not say something. But I don't expect them to say anything until May 10th. It might happen sooner, but realistically speaking, May 10th is going to be when I would expect to hear news. So if you're looking for when are we going to know? Don't talk to me until May 10th, because that's around when they're going to have their kind of final things to say, or after that point, Warner Brothers Discovery is going to sell it off, and then that's going to be the story, right? But anyway, getting a little off topic about the future of my channel, to get back to my various formats that I've tried over the years, the only thing I didn't do that I wish I did and that I would like to, and that I'm doing now, is making unscripted videos for this channel, right? And I think, reaction videos, that's a bit of a different story because the show guides the content. The show guides the reaction video. But, I need a guide. I need something in spaces where there was not a reaction to guide the content. I need something to guide that. I need a script because, to me, my videos need to be clear. They need to be concise. They need to be rehearsed. I can't forget anything. I would absolutely dread putting a video out and then realizing, oh wait, I want to add this thing, and I'm in the middle of editing it, and the most I can do is put text on the screen to say something that I should have just said when I was recording it in the first place. And so I hate that this video isn't scripted. I don't like that this video isn't scripted because I'm just getting anxious about all of the things that I would have liked to do in it, or ways that I would have liked to frame it if I framed it a little bit more carefully, all of the times that I'm going to trail off and get back on topic. But I wanted this video to feel a bit more genuine at the cost of losing all of that structure, even if I am kind of reading off of something regardless. There's something in the moment-to-moment talking that, I don't know, I just feel gets lost in a script. And so to get back to RTX. Actually, this print right here, this is something that I had commissioned, artwork that I had commissioned from Chaikachi. Printed it, gave it to friends, gave it to a few staff members at RT as well. Had a lot of them sign it. So there's 11 different signatures on here, right? Talking to all of these different people really does open my eyes to production nuance, and I tried my best in all of the news videos that I've made to frame things in a way where hopefully I'm teaching you about production nuance if you need to learn it, while also giving you the news to hopefully, people can respond to that and respect the amount of nuance that goes into something. And it's not as simple as, Justice League took budget away from Volume 9, because it didn't happen. That didn't happen. And I still get comments, and it's that's not it. Please go watch this video. I made this video so that you wouldn't comment this. And it still happens. So yeah, production's complicated. What's the simplest way I can explain it? To put it most simply, production is a train that does not stop. That's something that Eddie Rivas once said. Production is a train, it doesn't stop, It has to go through each stage of the pipeline, each train station in order. It has to go in that order, and it needs the fuel to get it to the next stop, right? So there's a lot of different bumps in the road that can come up in a production, and you just got to do your best to work through those, keep the train on the tracks. And talking with all of these people at RTX, I did get a better sense of how that applied to Volume 9, and hopefully, in my videos, I imparted some of that onto you as well. In any case, Rooster Teeth is ending, and that fucking blows. And I want to talk about videos that Rooster Teeth and former employees actually have made in the fallout of all of this. I don't really have too much to say about the Not Our Goodbye stream. There is a lot to say, but in terms of what I actually want to reiterate or focus on is that was a really, really tough one to watch. Everyone's still fresh, incredibly so, lots of tears, but it was also bittersweet in ways that I was not expecting, and I don't know if the people recording it were even expecting that, but they just needed to inject the joy into the moment, and I really appreciated that. And the one that stuck with me the most, the insight that stuck with me the most, was from Kerry Shawcross when he was talking to Jeff, appreciating Jeff Ramsey for what he did as Kerry's boss at a certain point in time before Kerry transitioned to working in animation. And he was talking about how much he appreciated Jeff for giving him a chance, right? And it was specifically the moment where he said, he was pretty sure that everybody in the room at the time, everybody on that stage in front of the camera, could identify with the fact of you are hired initially to do something, and then a chance is taken on you to go and do this entire other thing. The way that everybody on that stage nodded at the same time, yes, that is the shared experience of working at Rooster Teeth, is working under somebody like Jeff, who isn't gonna, let you go just because, as they learn and try new things, they would only ever do it with the same unit, right? And so I really would encourage everybody to go and watch that Not Our Goodbye live stream. It is something that beforehand it was billed as the sort of, here's where you're going to get all your news for the shutdown of how we're going about it, even though it is a developing story. And then when you actually watch it, it is something else, but something that is equally as deserving of everybody's attention, if not more. And that is the sort of collective mourning of the last 20 some odd years. Everyone's perspective there was equally worthy of being shared, and I genuinely appreciated hearing from each and every one of them. But I want to talk about as well Inside Games. For those of you who aren't aware, it's not Inside Gaming, which is something that Rooster Teeth also ended up doing, which was quite a few different people, but ended up being this thing that Jack, Patillo, Blizzbear, and BK were doing. But Inside Games is something that was started from Bruce Green, Lawrence Sontag, and then eventually Brian Garr as well, right? These are people who were from Funhouse, and then Brian Garr was in the sort of news division of Rooster Teeth. And Inside Games had this podcast reminiscing about their time at Rooster Teeth and the company's pitfalls, but its successes more importantly, right? They each spoke very earnestly, openly, honestly, candidly about all of their time at the company. And that was the highest highs, that was the lowest lows. But what I appreciated from them the most, from this podcast that they did, and which you absolutely should watch, is here are three people who have had the time to move on. So it is a very different experience from the Not Our Goodbye stream. It is entirely different. But it is specifically former employees who've had the time to, who left on whatever terms and had the time to move on, and yet still choose to look back on it fondly. They make a specific point of, in all of the memories that they're sharing very positive memories. Because they're reminiscing. That's what they want to look back on. And I forget if it was Bruce or Lawrence, but one of them explicitly said, no, we don't choose, we're expressly not talking about the negative stuff, partially because, they would just rather leave it in the past, or it's water under the bridge at this point. I think it was Lawrence who said, if you're a fan and you're worried about whatever falling out or whatever unfinished business or bad terms were in the wake of them leaving Funhouse. 98% of that stuff was resolved, and don't worry about the other 2% because they probably, just moved on. They're in a different place and they just don't care. So it was really nice to have that perspective of people who did not want to talk about the negative stuff because they just felt like it was unnecessary to. And so all of this being said, now to transition to talking about my channel a little bit, because I said I would do that at the end. What's next for my channel? And the answer is, I am going to make a news video about Ruby's fate, and I'm probably going to, be extra about it, like this is Ruby's fate or something like that, whenever we do get some amount of news. And that's going to be more than likely May 10th. There expressly is not any news about Ruby Volume 10 or the show's future yet. Like, that has not come out. Honestly, the absolute earliest that I would expect to hear anything is May 10th. And I think everybody has kind of become their own armchair executive for, the future of Ruby, like what animation studio should pick it up or whatever. And nobody knows anything. And that's fine to share, what animation studio you would like to see it from. But the only people who know what's best for Ruby are the people who made it and the people who are still making it up through Ruby Volume 9 beyond. So the most that I'm going to say on any of that topic is that Carrie Shawcross at the absolute minimum should be involved in Ruby's future. And if not, I have less hope for it. And hopefully more people than just Carrie, but I'm saying at the absolute minimum, if there's one little thing that if this condition is not met, that condition would have to be for me, that would have to be Carrie. If a whole separate studio picks it up and all they have to work with is the show Bible, that doesn't give me any hope because that's already happened before with Genlock. Genlock Season 2, right? They had the show Bible. There was a show Bible for Genlock. They didn't follow it for Season 2. And now the collected universe, universal experience of the collective of people who talk about Genlock is, but Season 2 didn't happen. If only it got a Season 2. And I think that would be the worst fate for Ruby. It continues, but at what cost? It continues, but there's no faith in it. So I will make that first video. There are other videos that I do plan to make that are going to be probably after that one. One of them, again, might as well be the sort of final send-off for my channel for all I know. But after that, my YouTube channel is honestly only going to be as active as Ruby itself is. And so I don't want to say that this is the final update video for my channel, but I do want to at least impart you with clear expectations. And so it's not where did this guy go? I'm making money editing for somebody else. I'm good. I'm doing what I want to do. Arguably, that was the whole reason for this channel's existence in the first place, was to get me off the ground and get me paid opportunities. And I have more than one person who want to work with me, but I'm currently only able to work for one person. And that's a very good place to be. There's always room for growth, and I would like my day job to not be what it is and to actually be something along the lines of video editing as well, but at the very least I am able to get paid to do what I love. So that's generally where my channel is and where it will be. I do want to talk a little bit more about myself personally. I have distanced myself from Rooster Teeth, but not its community, right? I've slowly, mentally been okay with Ruby no longer being around. And I would say that process arguably started before Volume 9 even aired because, if you remember, Rooster Teeth's employees were being let go. The animators were being let go before Volume 9 aired. So I was already kind of in the mentality going into Volume 9 of this is probably the last hurrah, or I might as well treat it like that. I should probably also call attention to this room. It's very different. It's not my usual setup. But I moved here 5 months ago. You're only seeing this now because I rather be off camera. But this is, what my setup has been for the past 5 months or so. And that's about the long and short of that. So I don't really have anything else to say. I'm looking at my notes. I've talked through basically all of it. And that's about it. I've been recording for, 50 minutes. Hopefully this video is 20, because, Anyway, that's about it. I don't know how to end this video. Just end it there. Just end it there.